Alrighty, friends, so you've just gotten a little taste of a song that we call Alive from the EP Alive, and it's done by our very own Raihana Khan. And she is here with us, looking beautiful, sounding beautiful. Welcome to Heartbeat Radio 104.1 FM. If you are listening live to us on air, or maybe you're tuning in on our Facebook page or our Instagram, just welcome and thank you for being part of this. Well, I want to call it a little bit of a historic moment for us here at Heartbeat Radio. We're so very proud to have one of our very own put out her first EP. It's, Rihanna, congratulations to you.
Thank you so incredibly much. I'm still shocked hearing it. I'm trying to just process the whole thing because Sanjay's here, Karuna's here, you are here. And I am so grateful for every single one of you because I have such an emotional connection with each of you because you've each supported me, and I've had moments of being down just like we all do, and you never always believe in yourself the way that we should. So in my moments of doubt, I'd run to you and tell you, I can't do this anymore. Kavita, I can't. And I've had moments of taking breaks and trying to put music aside, but you can't deny the things that you really love.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take the opportunity to record an album, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, I know. And I feel if it was left up to Karuna and it wasn't some places still closed and that kind of thing, she would have run out and gotten balloons. You know Karuna, she would have gotten balloons, she would have gotten confetti, but no confetti in the studio.
We'd all have cold coffee beverages sitting on your table at the moment.
But I mean, we are all bursting with happiness for you that you've completed this. We all know how much you've worked on this and how long you've worked on this. It is your first EP. It's 5 songs.
Yes.
5 beautiful songs. You just heard a little bit of the title track, Alive. Tell us, of course we know you as the announcer, Rihanna the announcer,
yes.
But tell us a little bit about Rihanna the singer, musician, composer, because you sang these tracks, you composed the music for these tracks, and you play instruments as well on these tracks. So tell us about that side of you.
It's so interesting to jump into that on our station because here I'm Raihana, and interestingly enough, my vocal coach I had last year, Glenda Collins, she told me, Raihana, you are 3 people in one. Because at the time I was doing Princess Jasmine, and she said, no, you are Raihana, and you are Rai, and you are this other person. And Rai is like my equivalent to Beyonce's Sasha Fierce.
Okay.
Because Rai is the strong one. She is the one who is unafraid to express herself. And that's kind of where I have been on my musical journey. It's changed me as a person who was always a quiet person growing up. And then as I got into music, I started playing guitar at first. And then somehow writing lyrics just came so naturally to songs as well, because I've had lots of strange incidences in my life, from having parents get divorced, from moving to Trinidad, abusive relationships, abusive friendships, and music just became this beautiful outlet that a psychologist could never fulfill for me, to write songs to express how I feel. So Rai has been improving her talents as the years go by, and I'm still on that road of trying to become a better singer, to become a better songwriter. I keep doing what I can to get to where I would like to be, but she is someone, I think, for me even, she inspires me. Although she's a part of me on my down days, I remember there's something living in me that is always reminding me, get up and keep pushing and keep trying something new, because that's what I think Rai represents for a lot of other people as well. And I've had people come to me and say, I haven't picked up my instrument in months or years, or I haven't, I used to write scripts and now I don't anymore, and I heard your music and you just inspired me creatively to jump back into what I love doing. And to me, that's what I want to achieve. And a lot of people look for fame. For me, that fame is giving that inspiration, and that's, I think, the essence of Rai and what she aims to do and what she aims to accomplish.
Well, we know, like we mentioned, you've been working on this for a while, because last year I think it was a little earlier than this time of the
Yeah,
year,
around
last year.
March or February or something.
We spoke about Rush of Love,
Yes.
which is one of the tracks on the EP. And that was your first one.
Yes. Well, I did have.
No.
I released a song maybe in about 2012, but that was my first experimental project.
Okay.
With releasing music. So while it was a release, I'm still proud of it. That's where I was at that point in my life. But I'd say my first super professional release would have been Rush of Love that we released right here as well.
Yeah. And this EP has, as we mentioned, the 5 songs. So it's Rush of Love. We heard a little bit of the title track, Alive. There is another nice one, Service Station, that you told me you actually came up with that idea years ago.
Yes.
And then, can I say that these are my 2
Of
favorites
course
on
you can.
the EP?
Before you say that, everybody has mentioned to me that the EP is like an assorted box of chocolates, where
It is.
everyone has a favorite flavor,
Yeah, it
and
is.
I think these are your 2.
Yeah,
in your
I
flavor
can't decide, and I
preference.
listen to them like a few times, and I keep going, no, I like this one, no, I like this one more. I don't. So I don't know. I'm tied between Outside and Taurus.
Yes.
I think I like the message that Taurus brings. So let's talk a little bit about the inspiration for each of those songs.
Of course. So Taurus is the first track on the album, and once you, I say album, it is an album. It's a
Yes.
small album, but if you listen to it, it plays like an album because each track just sort of smoothly transitions into each other. And I chose Taurus as that opening track because it starts with the line, "Nice to meet you, I'm your brand new friend. Let my last name rock your system." And it's sort of, we're having a lot of racial crisis in the world right now as well, and having a last name like Khan make rock music is something that it's not something that hasn't been done before, but it's not a popular choice.
Right.
And I wanted to represent my cultural background, and in that song as well, I reference a line. I say, "I am not a beauty queen, I'm just a woman with a point of view." And I've learned a lot about that here because we have had so many powerful women come into the station and talk about their journeys and their aspirations, and I've had a journey as well. So to me, that's what Taurus sort of represents: the outcasts, the people, the women who are different. They just want to share how they feel, what they experience. And then going into the second track, that Service Station, I wrote a while ago on a road trip, which was kind of countryside, which kind of gives that feeling. And Service Station is about me feeling like a service station where people fill up and they get their fill of you, and then they leave, and then you're left to try to refuel whatever energy you have left. And we all go through that, whether it's relationships that hurt us or maybe even family members, because our dynamics in life are so different. And after Service Station, we go into the title track, Alive, which is where it gets a little risque, I have to admit. But I love songs like that. I love songs that can represent real experiences. So it's about, I suppose, you don't have, and you have some sort of relationship with this person, but you don't know where you stand with them. A situationship. So, yes, and Rush of Love sort of follows that same theme as well, and then it ends with Outside, which I wrote last year. It's my most recent song on the EP, and I was inspired by the live action version of Disney's Aladdin, where Princess Jasmine had a moment that she called Speechless, where she spoke about how she felt held down and she won't be silenced. And for me, Outside was my version of that, speaking about how I always felt like I'm on the outside looking in. And it ends the album on a very different note because it's more acoustic. There are no heavy rock guitars in there, and there are some violins, cellos, all made possible by the people who have contributed to the album. So Andrew McIntosh, who is the lead singer of Skidnavelli, did the violins and the cellos and all those amazing orchestral effects. Kavita Maharaj did guitars, Anthony Bohr did bass, Noah Rahman did drums amazingly. They're all parts of different musical groups themselves, so I'm honored to have had them assist me. Martin Manmohan mixed and recorded the songs, and it was mastered by Precision Productions, which is Casey Phillips' group. So it's a huge team of people just to take those ideas and feelings that I have and manifest them into something.
Well, again, we are so proud of you, and so happy that you finally did it, because from the first time you stepped foot into Heartbeat for your interview for On Air, I remember asking you what some of the things that you like to do other than, and you told me that you like to sing songs.
Yes.
Very modestly, that I like to sing songs, I like to write music, play music, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you do original stuff. And you told me, well, a little bit, but maybe one day. And I said, no, maybe one day. You gotta work on it and get it going.
That's
get
when
it
I started
happening.
working on it. To be really honest.
So, it's been nice for me to see you from that first day to here.
Making me blush.
And really, I'm just so happy with you. The songs are all so good. It's nice that you shared the little bits behind each one, because I feel like when you know what an artist is thinking when they wrote it, or the intention they had when they did it, it makes you connect with the song on a different level.
Yes.
How do you categorize your music? What genre do you think you fit into?
It's hard for me to say that it's heavy rock, because it's not heavy rock, but there are some moments where you'd say, but this is just pure rock. And that's true. So if I really had to put a label on my songs like a soup can, it would probably fall into the alternative category, and with Service Station being the only one that is alternative country rock, which is very popular as well, but not in Trinidad and Tobago, of course.
Yeah. Generally, though, where does your inspiration come from, and which comes first, lyrics or the melody?
I get asked that question a lot, and it's
Yeah.
always difficult to answer, because I could be in the car, I could be in the shower, I could be in the bathroom, and something would just come to my head in a line, or sometimes I would hear a song that inspires me, and then I would continue lyrics in my mind from how that made me feel, and I would grab the voice recorder on my phone and take a little snip of it. You can hear water from the shower falling in the background sometimes, because that's just where I may get that inspiration at the time.
Yeah.
Or I might pick up the guitar and a chord might sound right and hit a chord on the inside as well. So it would help me reach to either a nostalgic point or a current point where there's something I have experienced before or can currently relate to, that then lyrics start flowing from that in it. It's hard to describe,
Yeah.
but that in it feeling of what this chord makes me feel. People always say A minor is a sad chord, and I tend to start a lot of my songs on that chord, because I guess we all relate to sadness most of the time. And you asked about inspiration as well, and if
Yeah.
I do have to, being honest, I'm a huge Green Day fan. And I started this because of Green Day, because before that, I used to write, and I wanted to be either a writer or an animator for the Disney company. So my life started like that, and then I used to write a lot of poems as a child. I don't think people know this, but I have a poem published in a book in the US somewhere that I never purchased, that I never shared with anyone years ago. It's lost into the wild.
Okay.
But I loved writing so much, and I would always write from my personal experiences, because that's what matters
Yes.
to me the most. As selfish as it sounds, most of our thoughts come from the way we perceive our environment to be. So inspiration has come from those artists who have paved a path of open speaking, freedom of speech, energy as well, because I love seeing an artist go crazy on a guitar and scream and jump, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But then I love to see someone sit and just have a microphone and express something very melodically and softly on how they feel. And those are the things that inspire me to talk about my life, my relationships, and the things that I see happening around me as well, because it's very important to me that I relate to people. That's what those artists who have inspired me have done for me. So I hope that I can be that for people who listen to a few of these songs and say, wow, I kind of relate, or this reminds me of a time in my life.
Yeah. Well, I think they have, like you said, it's like a little box of assorted chocolates, and that's so true, because you get a little flavor and a little bit of everything. I think for your first album, I feel like it's a really nice representation of you. I mean, we know you, so we know different sides of you, your
Yes.
different moods a little bit. That's part of being family here, and so listening to it, I feel like it's a really good representation of different facets of who you are.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to do. I have a lot of songs. I have probably over 30 songs that I've written, and I just wanted to take a few that can fulfill what you just expressed with having something that's a good representation of Rai.
Yes,
Yes.
of Rai, because that is your well, we don't want to call it your stage name, but
Yeah.
your recording
Yes,
artist name.
for sure.
Yes, so they can check it out. Just one more thing too before we go. How challenging do you feel it is as a local artist to get your songs out there, to get it heard, to get it listened to build a fan base?
Well, it really depends because there are people who are extremely supportive, who are in the local music industry, who either have local slots on their radio program in the evenings where they do rock. Some of the oldest rock people on the radio who still do it right now to this day, they know who I'm talking about. They continue doing it, and some of them have online streams as well, and those are the ones who tend to play the music. But we, as a people in Trinidad and Tobago, if it's not chutney or soca, it's a little bit difficult to get into the industry successfully. But that doesn't mean a lot of people won't know. I make a substantial income, and I'm not bragging about it, but from doing live shows, because there is a need for live performance in
Yes.
Trinidad and Tobago, and I've done 20 performances last year alone. That's the most I've ever done. And that's a lot. I mean, for a lot of people, that may not be a lot for people who have performances every day, but for Trinidad and Tobago, it's a huge step in a different direction, because we have the Trinidad and Tobago Music Company Limited, which is our government-funded music group, who is trying to support artists in jazz, in gospel, in rock, in pop, in
Right.
EDM, in dance, to have platforms. So I think going on that path has given me an opportunity to express, and hopefully with maybe my EP and me trying to push out there, that the path can be made for other aspiring artists in outside Caribbean traditional genres as well.
Okay, well, let's hope so. Fingers crossed, because this is good stuff you've got going on here, and people need to hear it. They're gonna love it, I'm sure. And of course, for them to love it, they have to be able to hear it.
Yes,
so,
for sure.
so tell us where they can, because today it's actually out as of midnight. It was
This
out.
morning,
So
yes.
let's tell them where they can download.
Well, from my last experience of releasing music, I realized how important accessibility is. So the music is available on any streaming platform that you can possibly think about. It's on YouTube, it's on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Tidal, and I also uploaded it to SoundCloud, which is of no financial benefit to me, but I know a lot of Trinidadians use SoundCloud to listen to music.
Right.
So I just want to be somewhere where when they're listening to their other favorite artists, they can say, hey, I can conveniently listen to this playlist from the comfort of my home. Because since we are now using music in a legal way, and we're not illegally downloading music like we used to in the earlier 2000s, I hope you didn't do that. But I didn't, for sure. But using this in a legal way, at least I can try to use these avenues to reach everyone as best as I could.
Right. Okay, great. So it's very accessible.
Yes, it is.
And very enjoyable. We are going to end off by playing one of the tracks. The first one, Taurus, that you mentioned earlier on. I chose it because it's, like I said, I think it's my favorite. I still keep saying think because I'm so torn between this one and Outside. But yeah, I like the message in this one. It's very empowering. And I feel it kind of suits what Heartbeat Radio stands for as well. So thank you again so much for this beautiful album as a fan to an artist, and I'm going to enjoy it, keep enjoying it, and of course we wish you, on behalf of all of us here at Caribbean Lifestyle Communications, we wish you continued success. So congratulations again.
Thank you very, very much, Kavita. And this wouldn't be possible without the support of our listeners and for Caribbean Lifestyle Communications. Thank you for your constant support. And I hope you enjoy this song. This is the first title, well, this is not the title track, but this is the first track off of the EP Alive. This is Taurus by Rai, and we hope you enjoy it.
one is the last. I was thinking which one should we do? Which one should we do?
I was gonna leave it up to you.
Yeah.
Let my last name rock your system. I've been through hell and then back again.
I did sound a little bit like I
This is real, so you better listen. It's been so
You know
rarely,
what?
but I've been
I can
through
I can so maybe that's why.